Okay, good day from wherever you are. From wherever you're watching us from, please you can actually drop your country below for wherever you're watching us from. Thank you for staying tuned to Ewagoyin today restaurant. Um, I dropped an episode one about my journey from beans to business. And here I want to actually drop the episode two. If you want to check out the episode one, actually visit the live check the live, you will see the episode one. I did it as a live because I went live, but this here, the episode two, I want to drop it as a video, long form video, so that you can actually watch to hear more, learn more from me as we work on the journey on my on me moving transcending from beans to business. Um, Let me just do a summary. My name is Okekeson Tochukwu Charles. The brain behind Ewa Going Today restaurant. It has actually been in existence since 2020 up till today, and it's all glory to God for its success and how far we have gone. We have served over 20 to 30,000 customers so far since 2020, or even more than that, till according to my fact check and um, database system of monitoring my customers' growth and my my monitoring the growth of my business and the customer retention. Um, as we go further from my journey from beans to business, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do. You'll get quality content directly from me through my short posting about my foods and other foods relating to Ewagoyin on my story, on my short, and why on my long video it will be just about me and the business. So my journey from beans to business all started as a brief summary of what I said and the last time. It all started from home. We're all boys in the family, and I was the one assisting my mom in the kitchen as a first child. And my mom was actually a caterer who I learned from, and she gave me um she made me have this love for beans because it's something we eat like a day in day out. Fast forward to me coming to Abukuta, how I met my friend, how I hooked crayfish, and from hooking crayfish coming to stay with my friend in Abukuta, from there down to every aspect. But where I stopped in the episode one, if you can actually go and check the live to get the full video about that. Uh, I don't want to dwell much on that. You can actually watch it from the live. Is in the episode one. This will be the episode two. So I want to continue from where I stopped at episode one. So it's nice to have you back here. If you actually haven't watched if you're the old viewers that view the old one, the episode one, I'm welcoming you back to view the episode two. So as a continuation, for those who haven't, you can actually go check it out. So as a continuation of where I stopped, I said I was with my best friend who we were all doing this together. It wasn't a bed of roses, though. We actually started while I was doing crayfish. But in the long run, I had to stop crayfish to actually start Ewagoyin. And there was a beef between him and me. But he didn't know that mine came as a vision. But God channeled me to learn in the process through him. So, but not to learn the process of the making of the Ewagoyin, but I was channeled to learn patience and learn um, how business should be coordinated. So that was I guess that was the main purpose of being with my friend. But fast forward to me starting mine, I had to leave his shop and go get mine, which I rented. Immediately I got that vision. It didn't take a while. I rented he even assisted me with um bench and stool. because then I didn't have enough funds. After renting the shop, I didn't have enough funds to go on with the furnishing. So he helped me with bench and stool. He helped me with plastic chair, at least one. If he's actually watching this video, he will actually know that I'm saying the truth. He'll give me a plastic chair, and I had to call a carpenter to help me reshape it to what I wanted for the chair and the table, the wooden chair and table. Actually, it was a. I wish I can actually share a picture of how my shop was. It was it all if you actually know how a container shop looked like. That was how I started. I started immediately. I didn't even stay up to a week because the vision was actually very heavy on me. It didn't even take up to a week. I had to do flyer. But before I started, I had to do flyer for 500 pieces. I can remember 500 pieces to be shared among people within that vicinity so that they can know what I am actually coming into that vicinity to do. So I started, and while in the process of sharing, people were like wondering a male actually cooking Ewagoyin, a male actually cooking Ewagoyin. Like, how will a male be? How do you who do you learn it from? Trying to ask some questions, but I said no. To prove you wrong, um, actually come to the restaurant on so date while we will lunch, and come and give a try to see if a male can do it better than a lady. Actually, because I grew up as a guy in, and we are all four boys. We are actually four boys and one girl. So I was the firstborn who grew as a female, learning under my mom as the firstborn. So I spent most of my time in the kitchen. So virtually I can cook. So most of my customers came to the restaurant when I started on June. I can't recite. I can't pick the date actually. June, is it 20? I can't really pick the date except my wife because my wife actually know much about the date. But I know I started June and 2020, and my it was not a bed of roses because my mom had to teach me because nobody could teach me, but the vision was there because I know I heard this thing well from home. So I had to put a call through my mom to tell me the ingredient to buy and how to prepare it without even proper tutelage. But all I just wanted to do was to start the Ewagoyin business. Are you seeing how crazy and funny it is? So she taught me on WhatsApp. Me thinking it was the way they actually the Togolese do it. Because if you actually want to do Ewagoyin, you have to do Ewagoyin the Togolese way because it was actually Ewagoyin is actually gotten from the lineage of Benin Republic Togolese. They are the one that are the main breed or the people that actually brought this culinary dish to the world to actually embrace. So my mom was taught me the way she could, but it was not even I wasn't even getting it. That's the funniest thing because I was doing it according to her own way, not knowing I was doing it like the way the Yoruba people do it, like going to get fresh pepper and fry. Actually, it was not even giving me what I deserve. I had to try different peppers to actually get the result, but it was really funny. I was not really getting what I actually deserved, but yet I was still selling what I was making. And people were saying, "Is this Ewa going real or like what is this guy really doing? Are you sure you really know what the business you actually came to do?" As me, I was discouraged by what people were saying. I could have actually given up from that day one, but instead I told myself like how will I actually do a business I know nothing about, but the vision is there to do it? That is another question I kept asking. Like, the vision was there to do it, but how will I be doing something that even people come to buy and the next day they leave? And I'm asking myself that am I really called to do this, or is it because I just love eating beans? But I shouldn't have transcended it into a business. But a second thought was like telling me that can't I push myself to learning in the point of business? That's another form of learning in business while you're not even getting it. You can push yourself to learn in business while you're not even getting it. It means you need to go and get the right information. I know some people will leave because they will get confused, like, this guy is actually doing the wrong thing and he's claiming he's actually in business. It was actually a very tough time for me. Even school children come around to buy because my container was opposite a school called Iburi High School. If you actually know places like that in Abuja, it was actually, that's my baby shout crying or something like that. Um, but all the best. I just want to do it like, I didn't even cut this video. I'm just doing it like the way it is. So um so my container was actually opposite the school, and school children come to try, and they were like, the base is just sweet. I'm just doing normal stew. That I should just continue with normal stew and not call it Ewagoyin. I should go and change the name in my banner. That's how discouraged and how pathetic it was when people were actually talking to me. Um, but all the same, um, I continued. I continued. All the same, I continued. Um, it wasn't funny. Teachers, even to the teachers I advertised in the school, they came out and they were saying, some of them were giving honest review, while some were just saying it's just normal beans. But I almost gave up, but I didn't. So what I did was, in all sincerity and honesty, I kept surfacing the internet. But funny enough, when people tell me they go online to go and learn food or more, did you even know how those people actually even learnt theirs? That is another question. Some people even go to learn online to also come to teach online. That is even the annoying thing. I was not, because people don't even tell you measurements. People don't tell you measurements when it comes to the, people don't tell you for how long you will fry. Some people don't even state some necessity in food preparation. That's what most people don't know. Food preparation does not even deal about take Maggie put. That's why when you see food production company, they have a measurement, they have um, quantity, they have selection of products, they consider some various factors. People just come online and say, I want to learn how to. No, things don't work that way, because your result will not be the same with another. You might try it and you won't get the same result. So that was what was affecting me. Even thinking, even after my mom must have taught me, but taught me in what she knows, not the way the Togolese makes it. It was really a tough time for me until himself value God proved himself to me, that he really gave me a vision and I should pursue it. I didn't know I have a long time friend who has been following me from the process of all my mistakes and told me I should show him the process of how I make mine. And I showed it to him, and he was like, no wonder um I was not, no wonder, how did he even put his statement? He was like saying, that is not the valuable way. People do it that way, but that is not the official way of doing it, because your sauce will actually taste like stew. Your sauce may not give the original taste of the Ewagoyin. Not knowing that he has been in the game for so long, but where he lacked was the skill of media and publicity. He was just selling to make funds, but he didn't understand the skill of media and publicity. And that was my strong gain I had over him. But due to the friendship and the value for me, and not wanting me to make mistake or continue in mistake, he had to make a detailed video. Now that same person I'm telling you about, is in Abuja now as I'm talking to you. He's in Abuja running a cleaning business, which that is his original fashion. And we're going, he was doing then was just to make ends meet. But now he's doing his original passion as a cleaning service, rendering to companies and homes as a passion. Now he has even spent more years in cleaning service than when he spent while doing Ewagoyin. And where he actually learned Ewagoyin was from a direct Togolese person who was um someone that raised him up as an orphan. Do you see how funny it is? So God prepared him to come and prepare another who actually valued it as a vision. And why he was running it as a means of profit making was to channel him to a cleaning business. So now presently he runs a cleaning business. So virtually the training he learned for himself was basically for me. But I wasn't in the picture when he was actually doing it as a business and when he was learning it. So funny enough, I learned it directly from him, and now I built perfection in what I learned. And that is my source of happiness. And to today, I've trained people, I've learned, and to God be the glory, God has been faithful. I don't know how to show you my reviews. I don't know how to show you, but if you're on Instagram and can type this same account on Instagram, you will see the goodness of how God has been faithful. But all glory and thanks to God. As I continued in my journey of um the Ewagoyin business, I made so many mistakes, of which I mentioned. I made so many mistakes, but that was not the end point of Ewagoyin. That was even the starting point because I had to build myself. In the process of building, I met so many people, even I met investors, because people were saying I started it in a very small way, but I need to grow it because I can't serve this authenticity and still remain in this in the kind of place I found myself. So I needed to expand because I stood there for like 3, 4 years without expansion, just building and making funds, not knowing that I needed to build myself more. I was not just basically for the funds, I was basically building myself in 4 years. Presently, from 2020 to 2025 now, you can calculate the years. So presently, I am now working in the original vision, which is now I now render services to parties and events, and I run home service for people that actually needs it specially at a quality and not quantity. Now, so you have to define that necessity of why you're going into something, of which that is what I actually did. So that brought at that small stage because I started attracting investors. But I was not in tuned or informed on how to work with investors. So I pursued a lot of investors who wanted to invest. So what they were only doing was helping me to get necessities for the business, like fridge, generator, and the other aspects, because they solicited funds from me. I don't want to mention names of people that were involved in the process because I respect them a lot, and I don't want to like bring them to a video I never informed them about. So in life, I learned in that process. I learned in that process, and I continued in my journey for source for success. Here was another shocking experience I learned in the process of this same business, and that is the ability to remain diligent. I stood my ground, even while having issues with people in that vicinity. It got to a point. Now, imagine in a vicinity when you're thriving for success than in a very rural area where people there are emulating your success. Imagine people carrying bens to come and buy food in a rural area because you have the advantage of media and publicity because of your exposure of to life and the kind of educational background I had. Despite there was no fund, I needed to just start. So I started in a rural area where their need, their instead of them to be loving you, they were against you because it's like you came to snatch a market from them because there was no Ewagoyin seller in that vicinity. It even prompted one or two people to even actually start Ewagoyin, and they started a malicious act. Like they started get being wicked to me in my vicinity to the extent they will pour sand in my shop, cut grass, pour it in my shop, and pour fetish items in my shop. That is how bad it is to do business in a rural area. And the school you actually that buy from you is also in a rural area. It was a really a tough time for me because that was where my fund could get at that moment of starting. I just needed to start. I used a 50,000 naira to go rent a container shop because I just needed to start. Printing of flyers, it was the money I generated from crayfish. And that money, how I made my money from crayfish was I had to buy Milo containers, not Milo, um, tin containers of milk, all those tin milk. I had to dig a hole for every money I made in the process of selling crayfish. I take 500 naira from that and put into that tin container. When I opened that container, I was shocked at what I realized. That was I was for the I didn't know I was keeping that funds for Ewagoyin, which I am doing today because that was the funds that helped me in the process. Even after I left home with nothing, I left my father's home to an unknown land. I schooled, I know, because my parents only fended for me while I was in school. After school, I was to fend for myself. Instead of me to stay in my parents' home and fend for myself, I told my parents I can't be a firstborn and still stay under your roof. I have to go back to where I finished from and see how I can make do of my life in that environment where I know nobody. But today, I can give God all the glory. I wish I will continue this video. I don't want to make it too long. I will tell you how my journey continued after getting a shop because there was a journey of moving from that shop to how I now transited into catering and other aspects. And I'll tell you what you should look out for as a business person as I proceed because there are a lot to learn from me in this journey. My journey from beans to business. So stay tuned, and if you haven't subscribe, you will actually get more tips. I am very serious. I am not editing, I am not cutting, I am giving you life as it is. So because the live video I'm actually doing, it's actually rotating in a very slow form, and it's not like the network and everything. So I wish to do it in a long form video and post. Then people can actually go check the episode 1. This will be the episode 2 on a long form video. So, and this is where I will continue from in other episodes. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day.